Hi, this is me, and this is part 3. Me wearing the Holey sweater, which I wear frequently. This thing's got to go. You know what? I should have took some of those socks I threw away and patched it up. But, just let it go. So I had shared about this Holey sweater name brand from Raffle, and I think actually can give them kudos. Lauren. I have these socks. Okay, so getting stuff used is for me not buying it because the truth is, so I call it Get Real from, I have to lift my phone down there. I call it Get Real on my phone, audio recordings, if I'm trying to share in the moment what's going on, because I will get worked up, I will get overwhelmed, I will be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to cry all day, but I don't really, because I can't drive when I'm crying and stuff. It's not safe. I can't see, and I'm a single parent. We live in a small space. I don't want my kids to be upset with they're very sensitive. Like, sometimes teenagers, you could be crying for 3 days and they're like, we're hungry. They don't notice. But right now are very sensitive, and they are having to focus on their school and their stuff. They don't need to be bogged down. It's helpful for women and parents and everybody and mothers to have a support group, and people in the old movies, they'd sit around and have tea and play cards regularly, and it's like, gosh, even just that laughing and drinking the tea and eating the cookies, that is something that I don't have in my life. So these that's sweater, I don't know what's wrong with it. It broke the first time I wore it. You never know, someone could have bought it and put a hole in it and brought it back. They could have burned a hole, for all I know. It was out the Nordstrom rack, not the regular Nordstrom. Stuff I got real. This whole thing. At Goodwill, and I hardly ever go there anymore. If it's like color code, such as whatever, 50% off, it's like, I will just look at those tags and get some piece of junk, but then it's like you're bringing junk into your house. Like, oh, look at this shirt. I don't like it, or, This is Polo brand. Sorry. Is that the same as Lauren? I don't know. I'm not into name brands. Okay, this guy, this Polo looking guy, these Argyle socks. I believe when I was living in a homeless shelter, I got these definitely used. They were definitely used. I got these when I was in a homeless shelter. And if it wasn't a homeless shelter, it was 1 year or so later. So the shelter was July of 2004. And there was another agency, I don't know if it's a nonprofit, but it had group classes I had to go to, required by the state. Well, it's like there's a lot of things that are required. So yesterday I was having this big hiccup about why can't I make decisions. So here is the, there is a hole in that. There's 2 pairs like this. I think the other ones are a little thicker. And it's nice it doesn't have a tight elastic on the top, and they stay up. These socks, did you hear me? Used in 2004, maybe 2005. Maybe, but I'm thinking I got them from the first shelter, because I had no socks, no bras, no underpants. When I moved to the shelter, I had nothing but like clothes on my back. I kept trying to find the Polo brands on Amazon for Christmas and stuff, because I was buying stuff from Turkey and China just to get a cheap deal on something that was either cotton and or wool, because I have allergies, and the American socks, they're like so constricting on the top with all that spandex. And this is a small hole. I usually wash these like unless I lose and I mismatch. This is 2016. These used socks I've been wearing probably weekly since 2004. Used. Somebody's stinky feet were in here, but I had nothing but the clothes on my back. And it was summer. I was probably wearing like a short sleeve old t-shirt on my ex-husband's, and who knows if I even had pants. I might have been wearing a shirt or shorts. And then I have this is what I meant by used. I went to Goodwill one time, and I went to get my kids' school clothes, and it was like over $100, $200 for a few outfits, like 3 or 4 outfits each. Put everything back, and I was like, it's a thrift store, I can buy everything. I'm not that mental. It's used, it's Goodwill, they get stuff for free, it's not going to be that expensive. And then I sat there and literally added up, and I said, kids, sorry, we're putting everything back. And I don't even know if we bought one thing. Like, I think we bought like a, it was like one of, I think we bought like a spoon that was silver plated, something like that, probably because it had the 50% off coupon on it. And some people had taken us a couple times to Target because we were homeless on welfare, had to pay rent, and the income was $400 a month. They had a couple of, $20, $50 gift cards that they let us use. They wouldn't let us use it. They would take us, and I got my kids. They needed gym class clothes in school, so I'd get them like a couple sweatpants and a couple, when my daughter wore those cute little weenie clothes that they have for girls now, they're kind of sleepy. But I remember those cute clothes. I wear that stuff now. My daughter thinks I try to dress young. I'm like, I'm not trying to dress young. That's just my style. I was like, I don't know what happens to people that are 60. Dismiss their style and just their age, or do they just say this is my style? So these kind of shirts I call granny shirts. This one is more like going to the club. I never wear it plain. So I'm at church. I said I'm applying for medical school, and I don't have any clothes. I was trying to go to Walmart or Kmart to see if I could afford a pair of khakis, something that, I was fat, so I got elastic waist. And she goes, oh, my sister just lost a ton of weight. And I was like, oh my God. She gave me a box of clothes for somebody else, skinny, and I got fat. And it was one of the most humiliating. I shared on my blog on Mia Orange. I need to double check how I write my name, because sometimes my name, it's got to be a variation. So it's like, I think on some spots it says Mia Orange, all in one word, and some spots the Mia Orange. Google email account name or number, email address, is mia.orange630 at gmail.com. So list the stuff. So I need to get it straight if I'm going to make flyers and ads for my businesses. I need to make sure that I'm sending people to me and not the other Mia Orange, whoever that is. So yeah, so talking about getting stuff used, this is what I meant. It wasn't about buying stuff. I bought a couple things off eBay. Took a chance. I'll smell like someone else's house or smell like their laundry detergent. I was like, everyone uses this side, or it's a blue one. It's like Cheers. I don't even know if they still sell that. It has that same. We use like 7th generation. So I have this. I've had for years. It's really uncomfortable. The straps are like really uncomfortable. I have off. It looks really pretty actually in the camera. It's fake rattlesnake. I have a pair of old Doc Martens that are actually fake rattlesnake. I should wear them today. And these are I think this, like, it doesn't look like it, but I'm pretty sure that this looked like this at one time, but all of the back came off. So pretty much I'd wear like this under a sweater or something. That's what I did the other day. I have this used, it's kind of, I think you're like supposed to go, oh, this is a club, I'm going to wear it to a club or something. But I just love bling and sparkles and all that. So this is what I meant by used. So there's socks in this. Try to look around and give an example. I have behind me a skirt. They said someone was a teacher for high school, and it was a little bit too tight maybe to wear around boys. I got it anyway. I only bought from in my life. Their stuff is short-butted. I had lost 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds in my clothes. I've noticed some of my clothes I bought, they fell apart right away because I buy cheap stuff, even if it's so-called name brand like Dockers or something. Snaps would fall, buttons would fall off. pants would fall apart, I'd lose the receipt, not have time. It's like, it's more important for me to go home and study than to stand in line at customer service and return this because I'm going to flunk. That's the problem when you're a single parent. You have to prioritize. Studying a class that costs $3,000 is a better choice than standing in line for a $30 pair of pants, or if you probably, I got them on sale, $17 was $17 a lot for me to buy for clothes. I used to go to Target and stuff. Everything I touched fell apart. The blue soda I took because my daughter would buy it. What the heck? With a pair of khaki pants. I think I got stars, a denim shirt with stars. So basically whatever was in the clearance, I bought, paid 20 or something bucks for it when the, shipping is free. And it is too tight. It's too, this is a pencil skirt, I don't know. I have another one like this that I got when I was like, that was stupid. And it's a lot longer and it's ribbed. I might wear that today and show you. This one I will wear around the house with leggings. Like this, right now I'm wearing this skirt. Like I'm wearing my back brace. I'm wearing this skirt that I got somewhere. I'm trying to show you the lace on the bottom. And it's kind of like not, it just either makes me look like I'm from 200 years ago or, I don't know. Some of these things like this, I got them because they were cotton and because they were cheap. Under 10 bucks or whatever, period. Some stuff I see at the drugstore. I used to shop at Rite Aid sometimes. Some of it was Rite Aid, or Walgreens maybe. Usually it was Rite Aid or something that had like a little section of clothes, t-shirts, and it was always something. So I was like, is this full? I don't think so. And that was like basic. That's probably from. Yeah, so like this skirt. I get a few things like this made in India. They have the bright colors, the long, flowy stuff, and they're always really too tight for me. I'm not a petite body, and I have big hips. So both of these are size medium. This is super tight, and I would wear this around the house sometimes. It's not a mini pants. Walk little steps because it's so tight. And so I'll wear it around the house with leggings so that I'm not scaring my kids with my fat butt. And so I can cover my butt basically, and I end up rolling it up so that I can walk. It's still hard to walk, but it's like, oh, that was stupid, I shouldn't have bought it. And my khakis for them, I have to wear a vest, which I got at G-Bite. What's this guy doing? He's going through the garbage. Oh, this is one of the neighbors. Who's this guy? G-Bite Guess. I got a vest online, and that is to cover my big butt. So you get these short butted pants. I had got a Lands one before. Actually, it was too big. My son had a tantrum. I grabbed the jeans because the jeans were too big. I never took them back. I hate when that happens. And then sometimes you're like, I'm really gonna take this back, and they give you a hard time. And they're like, we're not gonna accept this. I'm like, I just bought it last week, and I was like, ugh. It's like all the times that you don't take something back and you pretty much throw it in the garbage or put it in the free pile because it's something that's not right about it, or like I said, throw in the garbage because the zipper broke or this or that and you don't want to fix it, and they just got like 20, 30 bucks out of you, and the one time you're trying to get $7 back, they're like, no, we're not going to accept it, or store credit only. You're like, really? And so I'm trying to be more on top of taking things back, having the correct receipts, and doing it in a timely manner. This and the other ones, and the one I had from Lands, and then I only went to Lands like once. I think I bought my daughter something this year for school. She was supposed to go to early college and didn't have any clothes. I ended up having these short-butted, I call them short-butted pants. So basically, these people have this part of from their waist to the bottom of the butt is like small. And I have a if I'm size 14. And then once you start getting past 14, then the stuff gets like really obscenely long. It's like they're expecting you to have a floppy stomach or something. I don't know what they're expecting, but that's why I like the Gloria Vanderbilt, except for she still has a tiny bit of a low crotch that hangs up down, which I don't like. The only thing is something like It reminds me of the 80s chic or chic or whatever it's called pants. They had this like Mrs. pants. They'd be like this perfect hip, but then they'd have that long thing. I didn't like the round pockets on those when I was a kid. I like the Levi's with the square. I don't even shop for Levi's, but pockets in the back. So I had got waited for Amazon to have a sale on these vests so that I could get one and have it go to here at least to cover my butt crack, because it's like, well, it's awful dry in here. I was like, oh my God, all day go. And it's not that I'm trying to walk around like that. It's just that I mail order something on clearance. So basically, when I had student loans, I would have to invest on clothes that fit, because they can also grade you on your dress code, following the dress code. And even if you look sloppy, if you have some free clothes, free pile clothes, if you look sloppy, they can grade you down. They will grade you down. They will try to grade you down if they don't like you. So you want to make it obvious that you're not being graded down. That way, if you go and get a letter from somebody else, you can kind of be like, no, they dress professional every week. Blah, blah, blah. Like, cause you want, especially about of the cutoff line between pass and fail. Because people, if they don't like you, and it doesn't even have to be a person of color, if they don't like something about you, they're going to nitpick, and you're going to be below this passing line. They could, your hair, one of your pieces of hair could come out of a braid, and they could write you up and send you home for not following the dress code, and then you'll have an unexcused absence, and then you'll get an F and have to pay, and you'll have to remediate the shift, paying $600, and you have to retake the shift, spending $850 or whatever it is for 12 more weeks, 4 hours times that. Oh my gosh. I know people that have done that, and most of the ones that had it that extreme, very professional, have advanced medical degrees in allopathic medicine and licensing in this and or other countries, and they were discriminated against. Most of them were foreigners, the ones that have this severe problem. Pretty much foreigners, especially Russian, and other people. I always say other people of color, but Russians aren't people of color, but they highly intelligent, highly professional, highly well-mannered, good English language. Boom! They would just tear their stuff. Like, I don't know if they have people have pretty, blue eye. Like, I don't know if people were jealous or if they really had, like, I was friends with these people. I didn't see, like, some people you're like, I don't know how you pass any of your classes. You're just like, I'm not going to hire you. You're scary. You're, like, killing people. And people will be honors. I'm like, oh, my God. And then these other people will be, like, masters. And they would pretty much call me to help them with the English grammar. I was like, you're fine. I was like, you actually might speak better than me. I'm like, I will study with you. The way we do the stuff is kind of scripted anyway. So just to remind them, they would have one or two words that they would get swapped, and that's enough to get it out in a clinic and on your practical exams. To pause to a T. So I'm going to call my friends. This is 18 minutes. I meant to make it a little bit shorter. This is what I was saying on my phone, which I need to get, is a Get Real, where basically I was either listening to music in the background and didn't want to get a copyright violation, so I put that in the beginning of my audio recordings so that I could remind myself I was going to play it and I was thinking maybe I could play my audio and maybe film something later, like a slideshow of stuff that's going on during this time period, or film me driving to the other side of the river and having they actually edited it together. I was trying to think of stuff that I could use in the future when I have a working computer and all this, which I could actually edit stuff. So right now I am going to go and get my phone and check some phone calls, get in the shower. So the Get Real part about this is I am sloppy. I just woke up. Actually, I woke up at like 4, but it's like time for bed again. I took another nap, and the neighbors get loud at 8 because the bus comes at 8 and 9 or 8:10 and 8. They play basketball and they scream. Someone was crying and boys were screaming and hollering and playing basketball, and I'm just like, no, I need to sleep. But we had to go to my daughter's work. Package came, so if I had gone to the prenatal Something in my prayers told me, in my meditation said, don't go in the morning. I told the midwife, one or the other, not both, because I'm not going to drive there and back and drive there and back. I'm having too much of that. This auto accident has made it. And with me, another job, I have to work on my business. I have to work on my website. I have to work on my taxes and my paperwork. Like, all of these things are, you know, some of the stuff. I have to-do piles everywhere. Let's just put it that way. And I'm making videos to let you share my journey in this whole situation. I need to get caught up. I went to a bunch of births. I ran out of money. I'm driving back and forth. You can be like, dude, I just got gas. Why do I have 130 miles on my odometer? Because you drove back and forth. Because you went to a doctor's appointment. Because you drove your daughter to work. And it's like, gosh, I have no money for my light bill. I'm ignoring it. I have it right here. Let's see what I have. I paid $10 on one because I was like, I can't pay the whole thing, but at least I'll pay 10. Right now, that'll be 10 less than a week from now. $96.72. And then my electricity is actually was $71, but there was a credit on it from the welfare. I was on the welfare for energy, so now I had to pay $36.35. I might have paid this one. Oh God, I hope so. But when I run out of money, I don't look at this. I don't pay my credit card. I like it in full when it's due. I don't want any finance charge, late charge, interest rate. No, I don't. Definitely should know it. Sometimes it's just a matter of having to buy food and gas on the card just to make it another day. Just to make it. And some of the things that if I were just doing my office is down the street. I say home business because I bring my work home. I would really restrict the driving. Really restrict buying food that's prepared, which sometimes you run out of time. You have to buy the kids snacks anyway because they're teen. They eat and eat and eat. You gotta get some snacks. Even nuts and fruit, you have to get that stuff. It's all expensive. Chips is expensive, and you just want to get foods you can make from scratch. And I got some bunch of stuff. I was like, I'm not paying for ground beef. It's too expensive. I'm going to grind it myself. And then I went to these births, and then it was time to cook it, so I just had to make it into little steaks and then roast for my daughter. So it's kind of like I had to end up going to buy ground beef. I was like, I don't have time to learn how to grind it with a hand grinder. I was going to do it. They said put everything in the freezer, so I was going to rinse it, put it in the freezer. Freezer's full. I would have to clean out the freezer and put it in there, put it in an ice chest, and then set up the table for it, put some paper down. I was at 3 bars, so I didn't do it. So that was the real wanting to do the way. You want to save a couple bucks a pound for beef for your kids. I am vegetarian. Part of it is because I'm flat broke. Part of it is because this car accident freaking messed me up so bad that I don't want any energy wasted in digesting a big honking piece of meat when I know I can get nutrients, I can get protein. I'm really anemic. I can get iron from that. I have so many food allergies, I can't tolerate the fact that this cow is eating corn. So I was trying to get grass-fed meat and put it in a dehydrator so I can stay on my raw food. And I wasn't able to afford it. So I said, forget it, cut it out. Like, may God me. And I don't do soy, I don't do corn, I don't do wheat, I'm not eating fortified foods, I'm not drinking milk, I can't do lactose, I can't do raw cheese, which I still think I shouldn't, but that's keeping me from eating raw cheese and chocolate. Tillamook 2-pounders and chocolate, raw chocolate, liquid or solid, is what's keeping me from passing the heck out. Like, I would be in bed all day, and that's how I was when I was still eating cooked. I was like, every minute was in bed, the house was trash, the kids, I don't even know, they needed help with their schooling and all. It was just a nightmare. Nobody would help us, and I had no energy, so I just had to say, I used to juice, I used to dehydrate stuff. That is all. The healthy food diet is like this. So I'm pretty much drinking these cocoa. I think I have one down here. These cocoa powders. Oh shoot, messing stuff up. I'm drinking these. Oh, sorry. With honey, and the honey with cheese I've got a whole bunch of just, I didn't clean out my cupboards, just I have tees that I bought. Some of them I get on coupon that I don't like to get it. Some of them I get, you know, in bulk, just so I can have some. I get hypotension and hypoglycemia, and I used to pass out when I was a kid. And okay, so change the subject. These shoes, people would be like, "Oh my God, you're rich. You have Doc Martens." Okay, so have you ever bought a pair of shoes and you wear them every other day and they fall apart? These I got from Target a long time ago. These were like house fly lady type shoes, just to shoes kind of thing. I bought those at Target because my daughter loved those shoes, even though the bottoms would wear out for her. They were her gym shoes. She likes the way they fit. These are the 1 stars, so it's cheaper than the all stars. But I bought one pair. My daughter's got those, so many pairs of those. That's the only style she can even stand. So I had got these on sale. I looked on Nordstrom for years.com. They had free shipping. I looked on Amazon. Mine that I got in '96, I just wore the same Doc Martens, and they had a hole here, and the bottoms were worn down, so there was no traction, so it's pretty slippery and wet in Portland. I got these, I don't know if they were 40 bucks, something like that. Definitely, I don't remember. Free shipping, free returns. I waited for a couple years to get these because my other Doc Martens had gone through 2 flash floods, and I didn't have wet feet standing either waist or this high, shoulder high in flash flood water. I've been in 2 flash floods where I had to walk through it, one with a dog and 2 cats, which were on my head, and the other I had a daughter that had a 4-year-old. I was still with my ex-husband. I carried both kids like this through a flash flood, one of the most stupid things I did, and I was wearing those same Doc Martens. They got holes in them, my feet were getting wet every day, and the bottoms were gone. So I waited for years, and I actually had a pair of boots. I waited for like 5 years. I didn't have winter boots, and I tried to wear my Doc Martens to the mountain for church, not snow sledding, but snow tubing. My feet were so cold. It was like, it sucks. Like I didn't have, so I got a pair at Walmart. I called my dad, "Please, can you pay for these? I don't have any winter boots. It snows here sometimes, and I'm walking around with, you know, this freezing cold." And even trying to wear wool socks and stuff, it didn't work. You can only put so many socks in those 2. You can't tie them with the short laces. So I had gotten a pair of zip-up Walmart shoes, fake fur with leather, real cute brown shoes. Everybody's like, "Those are cute, these are cute." The zipper broke. I so wanted to take it to a shoe repair. I love those shoes, but of course, when we have inspections and no money, they get out, tossed, they're gone. And if I didn't have the inspection, I would be like, put them in this take to get fixed when you have the money to do it, because it would have been a really nice pair of boots. I kind of didn't like the faux fur, sorry. I think of things of how it's spelled sometimes and not how it's said. And so I ended up, again, looking on Amazon. So when I had got these, I was looking on Amazon. They had white Doc Martens. Cheap. Nobody, like the blacks and the blues and the reds, really, $130. The whites were really cheap. I think they were fabric. So I don't even think these are real leather. It's just patent. I wore patent when I was a kid all the time to church, but my parents didn't go to church. They sent us to church. But I always loved, Mom would be like, "Get your patent leather shoes on." So I had the black Mary Jane style patent leather shoes. That was my style, or at least that was my mom's style for me. So that was nostalgic, and I had gotten a pair, which I'll bring up later. They were the Doc Martens that go up to your knees. I had wanted to those other. So the thing was, we used to get gift cards when we were homeless for $20 for my kids to get shoes at the, what is the cheap place called? The cheap shoe store, I can't remember what it's called. And of course you'd get the shoes, and 2-3 months later they'd break, and they'd have holes, and the bottom would fall off, and then you'd go back, pay less shoe stores. My daughter had a pair of boots there named Rand Tinselate. They were really good. She loved those shoes. We threw them out because, I don't know, she just still misses those, and they were patent leather, and they had a star with like she still misses those. She's like, those were the best shoes I've ever had. I'm like, I'm sorry, dear Mal. I was like, so you can get lucky. We had another pair of shoes I got from there. The bottoms fell apart and the stitching came out. But they're in the car for emergency. And actually, last time I wore them, I think I almost fell. So they should probably go to the garbage. Not even worth giving away. They were emergency for like lab, or if I needed to. I've worn them in the hospital when I needed to go into C-section. If I was wearing boots or a pair of dress shoes, I just would change it real fast. But I almost fell last time I wore them, and I was in the hospital for doula birth, going to C-section, and I brought that in so I could put socks and shoes on, and then the booties, instead of just wearing barefoot feet into the OR. So I got those big shoes because I said I had Martins in college. Said her puppy was chewing on her shoes all the time and did nothing to her Doc Martens. And I said, I gotta get some. And the rich kids in Detroit would be like, you should, well, the suburbs, the rich white kids, they were like 20-something. They were like, you gotta go to Canada and get them. They're cheaper there because the American dollar in the 90s was worth more. Like, you go to Canada, that'll be the best place. And I never went, and we went to Chicago. The fake rattlesnake ones were on sale, and my mom bought them for me. Me, Mom, and Grandma went to Chicago, so I had those shoes when I was homeless. I went through 2 flash floods. I still have them. I still wear them. I'm like, after like 17 years, my Doc Martens are finally comfortable. They don't hurt my feet anymore. So those big ones really hurt my feet. These aren't too bad. They're super lightweight. Like I said, I'm not sure these are leather, but in the rain here, I have a lot of shoes worn through. And my feet get soaked, and then their shoes stink, and then you're cold, and you have to walk around with paper towels in your shoes because you have no, like, I'll literally have the bottoms be completely covered in holes, and you can see, it's just because of money. We're not going to buy it. So I said, you know what, they had those other ones, Amazon free shipping, the ones that go to my knees, for $60. I said, well, if anything, these should last, and they'll replace those brown shoes because I didn't have any winter boots. And I actually bought some winter boots at the same time so I can shovel the car, shovel the snow, you know, whatever Walmart sells, $12. They are the most uncomfortable. The inside part pokes. It's supposed to be like this, and it's like this that pokes your leg. So I have to leave. I have, like, these shoes are kids. They're coming apart. I don't know what. They're disappearing shoes. They're supposed to be for indoor use, but I'll wear them out just because I'm in a hurry. These ones are pretty raggedy. The kids when I was a kid were washable. I had the white tennis style. Well, they weren't tennis shoes. They were just, I don't know. I used to play tennis. I don't know, maybe everything in that time period was tennis style to me. Tennis skirts and white shoes and cute stuff like that. Oh, I miss playing tennis. But yeah, I have some purses. I have some, like, this was given to me. This, I think, was my mom's. And then my daughter ended up with, my mom died in 98. My daughter was born in 99. This was, I believe, at my dad's house. My daughter was using this. We got ours mixed up, so she gave me the shiny. And she took all of the cottony style headbands. So, the shiny ones are, the shiny ones, I have dry, nappy hair. See, my hair is broken off. This has never been cut. Do you see how short that is? It's actually a little bit longer since I changed my diet. That is how my hair, if you put it in braids, it'll grow because it's like protected, but all this part breaks off because you have that kind of coming together of the braids, confluence. So this is long for me. I think it's because of the diet and the fact that I'm trying to cover my hair or use a shiny pillowcase at night, or just the fact that I'm putting coconut oil, which I think it stinks after a couple of days, but trying to put oil in my hair. I mean, I have these braids. I don't cut my hair. I cut my dreads off, but they were all breaking off anyway, which is embarrassing because it happened in public once. So I was talking to this guy, and my dread just all around. I would put my backpack on and rip my hair out, and it would just be hanging by a string, and I didn't know how to fix it. I never go to get my hair done. I had no money, even if I wanted to. So this is braids within braids because that's how I slept. This is my morning, getting to a slow start. So this is a get real. The other half of the reason I called my audio recording was because I needed to maybe be upfront and say how I really feel and not be afraid of having anyone on this planet. Or don't forget about the guys and women in the international system, the people that orbit going some kind of, I don't want to hurt the people in our immediate outer space that are able to use the internet too. So these people, anyone, I try to not name names or whatever. I mean, sometimes you could usually guess. If I say one of my kids, you could probably guess which one, maybe, I don't know. I'm not trying to be gossiping, but I had made this channel in order to share my experience dealing with, I don't even know if I did it during school. I did 3 months and then I read it all except for OChem and physics and psych. Those are the classes everything else I retook because they're like, you've been out of school for 3 years and I have to retake every class. I was like, are you kidding me? That's a lot of money. But I did it because I had a passion for helping people in naturopathic medicine and childbirthing. So with that, I'm going to go and get dressed for real instead of just wearing my PJs. These aren't really PJs. I had to take my daughter in, so I kind of just grabbed stuff. The back of a chair. That's pretty sad. But, yeah, we were in a pretty much big hurry. It's so early. She got called in yesterday, and it just, you kind of like, everyone's like, oh, I gotta do this, and then you still have schoolwork. I still have studies for midwifery and doula that I have to finish. I still have my business that I'm building. I have a doula business, I have a naturopathic clinic, and I have a, what do I have? TrinketHealthandHome.com where I'm selling products. I need to really inventory. I gotta have, some of them, the finished products are actually in this bag. It's just to have a place to keep stuff. But yeah, I will share more about that later, and I wanted to say that I think the midwifery training, the route I'm going, has been extremely, extremely difficult because you know what you're getting yourself into, but you don't realize that the requirements that aren't listed or that aren't discussed during your startup of what needs to be done when, and it's really difficult to have to miss work in school and your kids' 8th grade graduation. If I was at a different clinic, I was supposed to be doing advertising for mine and the whole business at Farmers Market. I was doing weight loss talk for 2 years. I was supposed to be doing a whole bunch of stuff that people invited me to teach classes, and I missed every single one of those events because of the midwifery training. You see, it's a joke, right? You're like, advance, I'm doing this at this time and this day, 3 o'clock. And then you see the schedule. 3 o'clock, this thing and this time. It's like a conflict. You're like, I knew it in advance. I told everybody and they still schedule this. And then you're like, I have something else to do. And they're like, too bad, you better be here or you're going to be flunked. And I was like, I didn't know that they actually grade us for this. But I'm like, well, I am doing this because I had my kids at home without assistance, and I'm doing this because I want somebody else to. If I had to do the bartering system, I prefer to charge insurance. But if I have to show up at your house or call you and say you can't pay me, if you don't want to pay, you at least need to go in to somebody, or hey, I'll be your doula to help with your birth plan so that you don't have this craziness happening. Luckily, my births went somewhat smoothly. But I knew a classmate at Portland State. She was we were all pre-med, pre-dentistry, pre-this, pre-that. She was an EMT, and she goes, oh, you're one of how many calls that sat at to deliver, like, so many emergencies. And I don't know if they were like, oh my god, I'm breaking my water early and I'm calling 911, or they're just like, who cares, we're going to do it ourselves, and then they freak the heck out. I didn't really talk to this, I can't remember her name, I almost like know a story, but I'm just like, you're one of them. And I was like, dude, we had no insurance. I didn't know about midwives, out of hospital births. I had been seriously abused in the hospital system and treated with disrespect because I'm black, and had a ton of tests that I did not consent to, that I said I will sign a waiver, let me out of here, having at 21 years old, 21 years old, and they pierce your back and I'm all worked up. And I'm like, oh my God, it was, once I walked in those doors as a young adult, there was no say in my health. There was no signing a waiver. They called me before. And I'm just like, because I wanted to stand up for my own rights and say, it's time for me to leave. I have a test in 15 minutes. And then they called the cops on me and took me and locked me in the hospital. And I was just like, really? And I felt it was because I was a young black person. I had another incident. I'll talk about this later, but my brother dropped me at the emergency room. I thought he was going to stay, and it turned into spinal tap. Yeah, it turned into a spinal tap that wouldn't stop bleeding. The platelets were not working, and another video, and I'm writing that in my book, by the way. It was the worst experience, and then my mom died, my mother-in-law died within weeks of each other, and I got home because all these deaths happened. I forgot to renew my lease, so they rented my room to somebody else. So we were stuck in my Jeep with 5 pets. And then I went, and I guess my ex-husband threw away my birth control pills and my refill prescription piece of paper because he was tired. He didn't like to be bothered, so he got rid of it so that I could get pregnant, to have someone else to focus my attention, because he couldn't get a job. I couldn't get a job. So he didn't like my son. He didn't like be. They just want people to clean up after them and feed them, I guess. I don't know. Some people are kind of like pets, like hamsters. I have like hamster people in my family, and so I had my daughter and then my son, and I was so scared of the hospital because you had no say. If you sign a waiver and they're not going to be responsible, that you can't sue them and say, oh yeah, I should have got this spinal tap because of such and such, and they were trying to make up reasons, and I had really good insurance for my parents. I think that's part of it. They charged over $10,000, $20,000 for testing. And when I joined the ICTC doula group, I'm learning more about disparities in hospitals. I learned some in medical school, but that's not their primary focus is getting their shiny faces out there and doing primary care. Minorities, poverty people, immigrants, foreigners that don't speak the language. I'm trying to get those people that are on Medicaid in my clinic, because I've been there being like, we don't like your insurance, we don't like you, we don't like your skin color, oh, and your kids are white, cute. Like, tape record during these appointments and be like, dude, I'm going to make a documentary and pay off my student loans. It would be nice to do that beforehand and not even have student loans, because now they've doubled. But yeah, this is a lot longer than I wanted it to be. I'm sorry. I may try to edit it or something, but I just wanted to share that whole truth thing, that Get Real is kind of really getting into why I can appear to be angry. People say I'm negative. They have a privileged life and they don't understand what's really going on in the background. It's kind of sucky. You can't hide this. It's like, I don't have any money. Just hide it. Just hide it. But yeah, that's where I am right now, and it's just being that type of person who is kind of really, who is kind of really trying to make these wrongs right for other people. I've been on that, my dad fought segregation. It's not really ended. Everybody here in my neighborhood is black skin, except for the 2 Middle Easterners and the Mexicans, the 2 Mexicans families. Everyone is black, and it's a white neighborhood, but we are all segregated. We can call on the phone, oh yes, I'm a medical student, I don't have a job, okay, I work an hour a week, and I'm a single parent, and my kid's school is right next to yours, can I rent your house? Oh yeah, you're a great candidate, oh I love Section 8, oh, come on over. I get out of the car, no, and they hide their clipboards behind their back, you cannot fill out the paperwork, no, we have better qualified individuals, and they see my black skin. on the phone. Oh yes, I will be right there. Oh, how soon? 30 minutes? Okay, I'm gonna bring my kids. Is that okay? Okay, bye. And then I get out with my black face, and they're like, no, you didn't. Like, we are not gonna rent to you. Like, don't waste your time filling, because I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna rent to you. You know how many times? 7.5 years I heard that. So I would get on wait lists for these housing programs. They jack the price double to what it says online, and you sign the lease. You're like, before I sign this lease, can you tell me the rent? No, we have to calculate that, and we're not going to waste time until you sign the lease, so we know you're serious. They jack the rent. So people will be like, oh, this black person is using our tax money to live on wealth, and wealth doesn't have a child support, and you're going to be charged $1,418 a month. And that is the truth about, like, they have tons of people on the wait list. So if you have non-payment of rent, they're not going to hesitate to evict you, because they're going to trick that next person. How much is the rent? Online it says it's $1,000, and it has Section 8 or whatever. Oh yeah, well, you're going to probably pay $300 a month. And then you sign that sucker, and they stick something in your mailbox, and you're like, oh my God, I cannot pay this. Like you sign a year lease. It's a nightmare. And then people wonder why you're dressed like this when you're a physician. And they wonder why you don't advertise your business in the paper or pay for business cards. Because you're trying to keep a roof over your head. Penny is here. I don't know. I took him somewhere. I had a couple pennies here. Has their dad paid a penny in child support? No. Has the court gone after him? No. Can I afford a lawyer? Someone's like, you know what you got to do? Go get a lawyer for $2,000-$3,000, and that will pay for that judge to put, or the child support people to put it into action. I'm like, child support also said if I do all that, I'm going to have to pay a monthly fee, I'm going to have to pay for this, I'm going to have to pay for that. Like, why doesn't he pay? They're his kids too, and I paid every penny of their entire life. You know, a lot of it is loan money. That means it's double, tripling in front of my eyes. I look every week, it double, triples. $100 a day. Interest. And they on the phone the other day, they're not even charging the whole interest. Some of them are still remaining stagnant, and so I have one more year. They're going to go jump in 2017. Holey sweaters and get real. I will check back in with you after I go back to work and school and get back settled in. I might check in before I go to school, to my training. I'm calling it school now. Just call it that, because that's what it is. I'm going back to that, and I will maybe check in briefly before that. But it's all something I want to just end. I like this sweater, by the way, but it's got this cute snowflakes. I share my experience because I don't know anyone who's dealt with what I've dealt with. I had a friend from India who married this guy from India who had a green card, and the dude used her to try to become a citizen. Abusive. I told my story. Most people are like, I don't want to hear it. You're stressing me out. That's stuff. You got to be exaggerating. That can't be real. You couldn't have been living in a tent. You couldn't have been living in a shelter and going to medical school while you were homeless. Yeah, I did. Do the medical school people care that I'm homeless? Maybe they just want. They know the government is only high interest loans, and they know the maximum, and they're gonna keep raising tuition because they know you're gonna borrow the maximum, so you can pay that. They got money in their pockets. They don't care if I live in a freaking cardboard box as long as it's not on their property. Actually, I don't know. They don't want that image of. They don't want this kind. They would probably write me up if I went to school wearing a Holey sweater. I swear to God, they would try to write me up for, we don't like the color of your shoes. Oh my God. I think I got in trouble for that. They mentioned something like not wearing bright colors in clinic, not wearing orange. I was like, dude, that's my favorite color. I'm like, I'm black. I can't go around, okay, I have khakis, I have brown clothes, I have black clothes. I can't go around dressed like that every day. In white clothes, I'm sitting in class all day and going to clinic. I'm going to spill on myself and I don't have time to change. You don't have a locker room anywhere. I'm just like, dude, I walk around wearing all black and all brown. First time I'm gonna look naked. Second time I'm gonna look like a shadow. People always call the cops. They call security on me. You know how many times people call security on me at my own school or my kid's school? This suspicious character. It's a black woman. Looks like she's gonna steal something and shoot the place up. I'm like, I've been a student here since 2009, and my kids have been a student here since 2004. What you talking about? Like, the security guards all know me. Oh, I know you. Psh. They'd walk away and be like, but you know how many times I had the cops call me? Lady, try to go be a doctor, and these idiots that have the most intelligent, well-mannered kids that you can find. And I'm like, you're an idiot. I'm black, and they're scared. People yell at their dogs when they're around me and stuff. Like, their dog ain't care about my skin color until you said something. And I do not know anyone. My friend, I shared another lady, a stranger. I have no idea where I met her. I talk to people on the sidewalk sometimes. Share a little bit like, oh, I'm sorry. I am a stranger and I just divulge on you. Give me hope. Thank you so much for sharing. I thought I was alone. Nobody understands me. And you're still going through this garbage, poverty, dealing with abuse of people, and dealing with these housing programs, jacking the price every 3 months, another $100. It's like, dude, I can't even get out of here. I had to start to do a saving on a house every just to keep from being evicted. And now you're gonna be like, can I legally live in a studio apartment with my kids? 2 kids, 3 people, and 1 studio? I don't even know if that's legal. And if I go get a studio anywhere around here, it's gonna be $800 to $900 a month. So I'll save $500-600 a month. But I'm desperately like being like, oh my God, my 16-year-old might be paying for us to live in a freaking studio, or to be renting out someone's garage and putting a big mattress on the floor. That is better than sleeping outside. And if they have rats in their garage or squirrels, it's like, give me their, if they have squirrels in their attic, no, give me their attic. So I'm on a point right now where I'm just like, I'm sharing my experience and my hope. I'm still stuck in this mess. I have not recovered from this homelessness, poverty, abuse, not people around, not having supportive people around. I'm still stuck in this. I'm still stuck being a physician for over a year, not having 1 patient. Everyone who wants to hire me wants to use Medicaid. I need to look at like charge for Medicaid. And I think I can charge $16 an hour. So I'm gonna, a lot of these people are foreigners, so I'm gonna call actually Linguava translation services, and I'm gonna call, and these people, I need to make them fly that they are second language or third language, people know Arabic and Somali and all that. So that's where I am right now. Is I know that all of my time is tight. Like, I could have been gone from morning to night with this midwifery, but I have to deal with my business. This stress I'm spewing out is making it so when I sit in front of a patient, I'm not like, it's like a diary, it's like a journal. But I read so many things where people were just on their last $5. They had like some beans and rice left over from food stamps, living in hotels, they didn't have a car, didn't have a job, nobody would help. Like, oh, well, you got to get the program, you're disabled, too bad, you need to get on disability. They denied them, and they'll be like, we've helped you for 10 years, we're sick of it, stop calling us, don't call grandma, you're going to stress the family out. And I read these blogs, and then it just cliffhanger, like, it just stops, and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to pray for this guy. Like, maybe someone will hire me to be their physician. I have had thousands, like 3,000 literally extra hours of training. I got like hardcore into high-risk births, hardcore into the OR, hardcore into cardio and pulmonary medicine, hardcore in women's and laboratory studies. Some of it was because of my job, some of it was because I was in the right place at the right time. I feel like I have way too much knowledge for And the reason that I wanted to is because I wanted to provide primary care. I go to so many doctors that are getting paid $100 an hour for me, like just for me, and they see me for 3 minutes, $100 a visit, I should say, and probably more like $130 or $40. But like if they do a UA or something, they're gonna add a whole bunch of more money, and they are idiots. And I'm not even like, it doesn't matter if it's a naturopath, a physician assistant, a nurse practitioner, or allopathic. The majority of people. Some people are really hardcore good, but they're difficult to get into, or they're expensive, or they're far away. I'm not gonna lie, there's some really good practitioners. I just feel like I wish I could do a lifesaver, but it's like, oh, they're giving me a sliding scale and stuff because I'm freaking on the verge of homelessness again. I don't like it. I don't want to say it like that, but it's. There used to be emergency plan, Dave Ramsey, all this stuff that is like. And the stuff that came in the delivery was for my clinic because Medicaid denied me because I didn't have a sink, I didn't have a curtain. Half the naturopaths that do primary care, Medicaid do not even have any of the stuff on the list. Nothing. They don't have shower curtain on the wall. They have their office the same as their clinic. It's daggone shame. So right now, I'm going to go and pray about all the stuff that I got fired up about. But I just wanted to share it because I don't know anyone in my situation. There's very few single moms that are in medical school. Any kind of medical school. It's not easy. You got to learn everything. When I first started, someone came to talk to our class. And they said, I'll tell you one thing I learned during medical school. How to memorize a phone book. So peace out. Holy sweater. Get real. God bless.